My high school teacher accused me of faking my disability, and then attempted to forcibly remove my prosthetic leg in front of my entire horrified class. I have had a below-the-knee prosthetic since I was 8 years old. It is as much a part of me as my own hands. It is a visible, undeniable fact of my life, or so I thought. The problem started the day our regular history teacher went on maternity leave, and we got a long-term substitute, Mrs. Davison. She was a stern, older woman who seemed to carry a personal grudge against our entire generation. From day one, for reasons I will never understand, she fixated on me. It began with small, passive-aggressive comments that slowly chipped away at me. I had an elevator pass for when the pain was bad, but if she saw me waiting for it, she would sigh loudly. "It is a shame what a little bit of exercise has become to your generation," she would say, staring right at my leg. She would constantly police how I sat, even when I was not bothering anyone. "Mr. Miller, keep your limbs to yourself. This is a classroom, not your living room." I tried to explain that sitting with my knee bent at a sharp 90-degree angle for an entire 50-minute period was genuinely painful, but she just waved it off. "We all have our discomforts, Mr. Miller. It is called discipline." My parents told me to just keep my head down and get through it. "Some teachers are just difficult," my dad said. "You only have to deal with her for one semester." The day it all exploded, our class was supposed to be having a silent reading period. I was sitting at my desk, completely absorbed in a book, with my prosthetic leg stretched out just slightly to the side to relieve the pressure. I heard her sharp footsteps stop right next to my desk. I looked up from my book. "Mr. Miller," she said, her voice dripping with a nasty sort of triumph. "What have I told you about this continuous defiance?" "I am sorry, Mrs. Davison," I said quietly. "It is just more comfortable for my leg this way. I am not in anyone's way." She let out a short, sharp laugh. It was a cruel, ugly sound that made the hairs on my arm stand up. "Your leg. I have had just about enough of this little performance of yours." The entire classroom went dead silent. Every single student was looking at us. You could feel the tension suck the air out of the room. I was completely baffled. "My performance. I have been a teacher for 30 years, she said, her voice rising, projecting to the whole class. "I've seen students try every trick in the book to get special treatment, but faking a disability, that is a new low even for you." My jaw dropped open. I could not form words. "I am not faking it," I finally said, my voice trembling with a mix of shock and rage. She just smiled a tight, venomous smile. "Oh, I am sure. Let us just see how prosthetic this really is." Before I could even process what she meant, she bent down and grabbed my foot. She wrapped both of her hands around the carbon fiber frame of my prosthetic foot and yanked. Panic surged through me. "What are you doing? Let go of me." She started pulling harder, bracing herself and trying to yank my entire leg off, right there in the middle of history class. She must have thought it would just pop off like a toy. But my prosthetic is attached with a suction liner and a pin lock system. It is secured to me. Her pulling sent a jarring, painful shockwave up my residual limb. I yelled out a sharp cry of pain and disbelief. "Stop it, you are hurting me." That is when the class erupted. A girl named Sarah screamed, "Leave him alone." My friend Mike stood up so fast his chair fell over, shouting, "He is not faking, you crazy old woman." Several students had their phones out, recording the entire insane event. The commotion was so loud that Mr. Harris, the teacher from next door, came rushing in. He stopped dead in the doorway, his eyes wide with horror at the sight of this woman on the floor, wrestling with my leg while I was trying to push her away. He grabbed her by the arms and physically pulled her off of me. The principal arrived less than a minute later, alerted by the shouting. Mrs. Davison was escorted out of the room, still muttering that we were all fakers and liars. My dad was at the school in 10 minutes, and I have never in my life seen him so furiously silent. Mrs. Davison was fired that same day. The student videos were immediately turned over to the administration, leaving her with no defense. We later found out her teaching license was permanently revoked. My parents filed a lawsuit against the school district for assault, and it was settled very quickly. The worst part was not the physical pain. It was the deep, burning humiliation of being forced to defend a part of my own body. But in the end, my classmates stood up for me without a moment of hesitation. They saw wrong, and they refused to be silent. That is a history lesson Mrs. Davison never could have taught.